Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I am ready for the event.
Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum and the National Museum of African American History and Culture. This is Mission Control, Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Christopher Williams with the National Museum of African American History and Culture and the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. How do you hear me?
Chris, it's great to hear you. I have you loud and clear. I'm ready for the event.
Awesome. We are really excited to be speaking with you today. How's your mission been so far?
It's been amazing, and it's hard to put into words how awesome it is to be up here. There's so much great work going on, such a great crew with my 6 colleagues, and all of the support, knowing that you guys are down there cheering us on. It's just been phenomenal.
Hi, Victor. It's Beth. I wanted to know if you could tell us about the science that's being done on the station right now.
Beth, that is a great question. There are so many experiments going on at any one time. When I first got here, I was fortunate to participate in science projects that are research projects that are looking at the effects of microgravity on our ability to sense and perceive orientation and our motor skills. There are also payloads outside that are running around the clock that are sensing our atmosphere, that are looking at different places on the planet, as well as taking imagery, multispectral imagery of our planet. And there's a whole host of other things, as well as the basic human research that is going on us all of the time to find out how we can continue to be more efficient and effective while we work and live in space safely. Great question.
Victor, this is Marty. We've got a bunch of pre-taped student questions from kids around the country. Here is your first question.
Hi, my name is Violet from Cartersville, Georgia, and my question is, we all loved watching Baby Yoda make an entrance on the International Space Station. Why was he along for the trip?
So that's a great question. We have a tradition of bringing along something in the spacecraft that we can use to visually tell when we're in microgravity. Because we're strapped into our seat so tight in order to keep us safe for launch loads, we have something that can give us the sensation that we're in microgravity because it floats. And so we brought along the child, the character, that everybody refers to as Baby Yoda, in order to let us know when we were experiencing microgravity. And if you were able to see our launch, you could tell that we all were well aware when we got into space on orbit.
Hi, I'm Kate from South Riding, Virginia, and my question is, do you play with your food in space?
Kate, that is a great question because I always play with my food in space. It's hard not to. You have to think about your food because it's also really easy to lose track of it and let some go floating off away. So you have to be careful to not make a mess, but it's so much fun to eat in space, and so I try to play with my food at every meal.
Hi, I'm Bella from Fort Owens, California, and my question is, what are the colors like when you look out the window at Earth?
Oh, that's another great question. The colors are so rich and so beautiful because you're seeing it the way that it really is. The color of the ocean, when you're far away from the coast, it seems to be a different blue. They're just so rich and there's so much detail. It really is different than any picture or video that I've seen to see it with your own eyes and just a thin pane of glass between you and outside. It's amazing. I think you should get up here and see it for yourself.
Hi, my name is Lila, and I live in Charlottesville, Virginia.
My question is, do you have to be in the military to become an astronaut?
That is a great question, and I think you probably study your history. The Mercury astronauts in the beginning, they were all military test pilots. But nowadays, if you look at our crew, it's a great representation. 2 of us are military, and 2 of us are academic and engineers and scientists, and that is how our office is staffed nowadays. You do not have to be military. You just have to have a master's degree in science, engineering, or mathematics, or equivalent work experience.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Houston, Texas. My question is, what advice would you give to young students, specifically African Americans, who aspire to be in your position as a pilot and as a NASA astronaut? Thank you.
Thank you. And actually, that advice, I try to keep it to these 3 simple things. No matter what you want to be, they will help you find success. And it's to be resilient, to not let things stop you, and even in bad situations, to help you find some positive, some good, some growth. Be resilient. That's number 1. Number 2, to be a lifelong learner. Inside the classroom and outside the classroom, there's so many things that you can learn all of the time. And the third one is to be a good teammate. Teamwork is so important in American society as a human being, and it also is important in science and technology and up here on the space station. Thank you for that question.
Hi, I'm Bryce from Fairfax, Virginia, and I was wondering, what do you wear under your spacesuit?
Well, it depends on what kind of spacesuit we're talking about. So under this suit, I have on just standard underclothing. Under our launch and entry suits, the other white suit that we wore up on our Crew Dragon Resilience, we had on long undergarments. And in our spacesuit that we go outside to do spacewalks in, we actually have on a similar long garment, but on top of that, we have something called the liquid cooling and ventilation garment, which has water running through it to keep us cool and air moving through to keep our skin dry and to keep us comfortable. Really good question.
Hi, my name is Reese. I live in Lowell, Maryland. My question is, how do you stay in touch with your family while on the International Space Station?
I lost a part of that, and I think you were asking how I keep in touch with family while I'm on the space station. We have computers that we can send emails, and people can send emails to us. We also have an internet-based phone system, and so I can make phone calls. In fact, right before this event, I called my wife to have her give me a pep talk because I was a little nervous, and she reminded me that anything you do that's important, it means you recognize that the importance of what you're getting ready to do, and so that's totally normal. And so it's really amazing how easy it is for us to keep in touch with our families from the International Space Station.
Hello, my name is Charlie Martin. I'm from Annapolis, Maryland. I wanted to know what it's like floating and working in space.
Well, working in space is very busy. There is a lot of work between science, the basic upkeep and maintenance of the space station, as well as we live here, so we have to keep it clean. This is where we eat, and we also spend time socializing with one another. Floating on the space station is great, but again, it is something you have to pay attention to, like eating, because we have a saying in aviation, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And I've been trying to do that, but sometimes I get going with a little bit of speed and it can be hard to stop. So I've bumped into quite a few things, but I'm working on it. I'm practicing. But it's great. Floating in space is really awesome.
My name is Siani Brown. I'm from Philadelphia, PA. My question is, when you get back to Earth, how long does it take before you can walk?
That is a great question, and since this is my first time flying in space, I'm hoping that it's going to be very quick. You may have seen Bob and Doug on the first Crew Dragon mission, they flew home, and that same day they walked off the airplane and actually sat through a press conference. So I really hope that I can fly home from launch and that same day walk off that airplane. That's going to be my goal, that same day that we land, to be able to walk. Good question.
Hi, my name is Felix, and I'm from Stuttgart, Germany. My question is, how important is teamwork to being an astronaut?
Wow. I could spend this whole time talking about the importance of teamwork. It is absolutely vital. From the 4 of us that flew up on our Crew Dragon training during a pandemic, it was very evident how important it was for us to think about and take care of one another. We had to live together and eat together because of some of the restrictions due to training in a pandemic. And that continued when we got up here to the International Space Station. Sergey, Kate, and Sergey welcomed us and helped us to get started so that we could hit the ground running and start getting our hands in on all that work that was being done. And we also have a team all over the planet that has helped to train us, and they also help us to operate this space station. And they're all over the world, and it's vital for us to make sure that we work together. And also, like I mentioned earlier, I called my wife prior to this event. We also have that very important team that we call family, and so they are vital to accomplishing this successfully. Their love and support are what make this possible for me.
Hi, I'm Tammy Adams, principal of Horace Mann Elementary School in Oakland, California. And we want to know, how long did you study before going into space?
Well, let's see. I'm 44, so I would say 44 years. And actually still counting, because there's always something to learn. Like I said earlier, number 2 is being a lifelong learner. And this job, the one constant is that you're going to always have to learn something. As spacecraft technology changes, scientific instrumentation changes, or just the configuration of our space station changes, there's always something to learn. We may be getting ready to go on a spacewalk very soon, or getting a bunch of new science and other equipment on the SpaceX Cargo Dragon that's coming up, and both of those things are going to be something that I'm going to have to spend some time studying for, and already have been studying for.
Hi, my name is Soraya Ponder, and I am from Conyers, Georgia. And my question is, what's water like in space, and where does it go?
Water in space is pretty amazing. It almost seems as if it's living. Now, our air conditioning system doesn't just control temperature, it controls humidity. And so it can pull in any moisture and then put it into a system that cleans it and makes it able for us to drink. But watch this. This is my water bag, and I'm going to let a little bit of water out. And you see, if I was to do that on Earth, it would make a bigger mess than I'm making right now. But you see that droplet that's just floating there? I can drink it right out of the air without it falling on the ground. It's pretty amazing. Like I said, I always play with my food up here.
Hi, I'm Sadie from Fairfax, Virginia, and I was wondering, do you celebrate holidays in space?
Yes, we do. Just like your family may celebrate certain holidays, or you get certain ones off of school or work, and then other ones you may have to go to school or work for, we get certain holidays off. And like your family, there are certain holidays you may celebrate and certain ones that you may not, but somebody else's family might celebrate. Our family up here is international. Right now, our crew represents the United States, Russia, and Japan, and so we celebrate holidays from all different parts of the world.
My name's Christian from Fort Irwin, California, and my question is, do you dream in space?
You know, if you're talking about when you fall asleep, do I dream? I absolutely have dreams. Sleeping up here is great. It's so comfortable to sleep in this nice, relaxed position that your body takes when you get into your sleeping bag. But you know what? I also dream when I'm awake. I stare out that cupola window at our beautiful planet and imagine being in some of the places I've never actually set foot on, but being able to fly overhead. I am sitting in that window or those windows and daydreaming. I wish it was all day long, but for a good portion of the day. So even when I'm awake, I'm up here dreaming as well.
Hi, my name is Anya. I am from South Riding, Virginia. And my question is, where is the International Space Station right now? How fast does it travel? How high up are you and what are you over right now?
So the space station is actually passing over the Gulf of Mexico, and very soon we're going to cross over Florida and fly up the East Coast right over the Smithsonian museums, right over Washington, D.C. The space station is at an altitude of about 250 miles, and our speed is 17,500 miles an hour, and that allows us to circle the globe once every 90 minutes or so.
Hi, my name is Breland Williams. I'm a third grader at Sally B. Howard School, and my question is, how many challenges did you face to become an astronaut?
Is it possible to repeat that question? I couldn't understand what that question was.
What are some challenges you face becoming an astronaut?
Oh, I'm really glad I asked you to repeat that one. You know, becoming an astronaut, I would say it took me my whole life getting up to that point. The education, the athletics, the family support, the church, and all the work in the community. And the greatest challenges for me becoming an astronaut were the moving that I did with my family as a military family. We moved from place to place, and it sometimes meant leaving the people that you loved. And even in this job now, we have to leave home for long periods of time and spend time away from the people and the things that we love. And so it's important, again, that first team, that family, to have a great relationship and a great bond so that you can pick up where you left off when you get back. But for us, our family has been, it's been moving a lot on the way to becoming an astronaut.
Hi, my name is Andres Jacobson. I live in Alexandria, Virginia. My question is, do your muscles act different in space?
Do they act different? That's a great question, because even though our muscles are still essentially doing the same thing, they're contracting and relaxing to help us move, the movements are very different. Because I don't actually have to hold up my own body weight, it makes it a little more challenging for me to figure out how I move. The way that you pivot and rotate is very different than when you have to balance your weight. So our muscles are doing the same thing. It's just that everything else around us is doing something different. It's all floating in microgravity, and so you have to learn how to move. I tell people joking all the time, I feel like a toddler. I understand what I want to get done, but it's a lot harder to do it. And I have to relearn how to move around and how to eat and how to communicate effectively up here. It's really interesting.
Hi, my name is Samragi. I am from Chantilly, Virginia, and my question is, how do you keep yourself clean and healthy in space?
To stay clean and healthy in space, you have to do it very carefully, just like everything else. You know, with the pandemic going on right now, we talk a lot about hygiene and how important it is to keep yourself clean and to keep the things around you, your environment, clean. And that's true up here. It's actually very clean up here. And because of that, we try very hard to keep it that way and to also keep ourselves clean. But we have hot water and soap and the ability to do hygiene up here just like you do on the ground, except we don't have easy access to, say, a shower or a bathtub, as that wouldn't work in microgravity. So we have to find ways to improvise and use the surface tension of water, for example. If I had taken that droplet of water and just stuck it to my head, it would stay there because it's attracted to the surface of my skin. And I can then put a little bit of soap there, and I can rub it in and then wipe it off with a towel to clean, or I can shave to cut my hair.
Victor, thank you so much for talking with us today and answering all of these questions. We hope you have a great mission, and we look forward to seeing you at the Smithsonian when you get back to Earth.
It's been great talking to you, and it's been a while, but it's great to talk to both of you, and I look forward to it as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to the kids out there. Continue to take care of yourselves and take care of one another, and let's explore together.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event. Thank you.
Thank you to all the participants from Smithsonian Air and Space Museum and the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Thank you, Victor, for your time. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.